Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Kanika. Today, in computer applications, we'll be studying Chapter 2 Services Available on the Internet. In this chapter, we will be covering client server architecture, various services which are provided by Internet, such as shopping, uploading photos, videos, etc. We are also going to study about search engines and many more things. So, let's begin. Chapter 2 Services Available on Internet. Introduction. Please student follow my cursor so that you know where I am reading. The internet is a great global medium of communication. It has, as was expected, found its way into every household. So basically it is an introduction which is talking about how internet has taken place in every phase of our life, whether we are going to the market, whether we are sitting at home, whether we are studying in today's time, etc. Everything is done using internet. Okay, so first we are going to study in internet is client server paradigm. That means how the internet works with respect to client and server. We have discussed an introduction about client and servers in our previous tutorials also. So client server is a model of communication between two entities. So it is a client server is a model of communication between two entities means two systems or two things. Most of the internet services are designed around client server communication. So most of the applications or things or actions or functions which we are able to perform on internet we are able to do so because of the client server communication model. Now it consists of four components: server, client, communication network and protocols. So first let's discuss about server. So a server is a hardware software system that offers a set of specified services. Specified services, it gives you certain or some special services. So it is a hardware and a software system. Server is basically a machine just like a computer which has a hardware, that is a machine, and software installed in it which makes it like behave as a server. So it offers a set of specified services. We will be learning this with example in the coming chapter. So when up and running a server simply waits for incoming request for service. Server software stimulates a human server such as ticket booking clerk at a cinema ticket counter. So for example, if I take an example of if earlier times when we used to go to movie halls, so we used to book ticket online on Book My Show, Insider.com, etc. So what happens if I as a human being, I as a user or a client want to, so I am acting as a client and I want to book 4 tickets for my family. So what happens? I open Book My Show. It sends a request. I as a client sends a request that I want 4 tickets for this ABC movie. So that request is sent to the server. On the server end, machine checks whether the 4 tickets of this available time are available. Then it checks and then return the response back to the client, that is me, that yes, at this time 4 tickets are available, or no, at this time these 4 tickets are not available. So this is an example of client server machine, that I am a client and server a machine which holds all the specified service and all the information regarding the website. So when a web server software is run on a server machine, it reserves a memory location for communication with the clients. This location in the memory is called port. So a port, you can say server port is there, which allows a space or which provides a memory location for client to contact with server. The server listens to this port. The port is like a communicator, or you can say interpreter between a client or a server, which helps in communicating between these two. The port of a server is reachable through network. So it is connected via a network. Network is important. Network we have studied in previous tutorial. The moment a message arrives at the port, the server swings into the action. As soon as a message or a request, message here is the request by the client, arrives at the port, the server takes the action. It reads the message, determine what it has to be done. Like in our example, what has to be done? We want to book 4 tickets for 3 p.m. of ABC movie. Process that message, generate the result and packs into TCP packet and loads it with the IP address. TCP packet we have studied in protocols through which our data is transferred from one place to another and loaded with IP address and sends the result to the originator of the request. And who is the originator of the request? The client, the user. A server is designed to serve many clients at a time by implementing appropriate queuing system to handle multiple simultaneous requests for a service. So server is not designed to perform or entertain one client at a time. For example, if I am booking a ticket, there may be thousands or hundreds or 10 other people who are also booking the ticket at the same time. The server is capable to manage more than one client at a time. This is, you can see, like this is a server. This blue shirt man is the person who is wearing a blue shirt is a server, and there are clients who are waiting for the access or for their request to be answered. Now what is a client? Again, client is a hardware software system that sends requests to the server. It receives the result of the request also. Like I have sent the request to the server, I want to book a ticket. So the server also respond me back, yes, these tickets are available or not. A client acts as an interface between the user and the server. Now who is the user? I am the user. And client machine. As I told you that client and server both are machines. So the system, the mobile phone or the laptop which I am using is the client and I am the user. So I can be called as client also in the above example, like if we take in the human chain example. But I am the user and the mobile or the laptop or the desktop which I am using is a client, because client is again a machine. The port of a server is reachable for client through network. Here also we have a client port which is used for communicating. So there is a port with client and server both. When a client makes a request, it essentially sends a command to the port of the server. The moment a message arrives at the port, the server reads the command and does the needful and sends back the result to the client according to the request. So this is the client, as you can see. Tell me what is it, where do I? So it asks the question, it requests to the server. Next comes the communication network or channel. A communication network or channel is a network component through which the message physically travels to and fro. So as a client has sent a request and server is responding, so we need a medium for that communication, and that medium is provided by communication network, and that is a physical connection that is used or set up by certain wires. It is an essential component to establish communication between server and client. So this is an important diagram of client and server. Client is there, it sends a request to the server, then server processes it how resources. Server has certain information stored in it. For example, for ABC movie for which I am booking a ticket, so server has the information that at this time 100 seats are available, 90 seats are booked, 10 seats are left, and I can allot you 4 tickets. So these are the information which are kept in resources. The server receives the request, process it, checking on its resources, whatever information it has, and then it responds back to the client. So this is a client server communication channel. It is very important. It can be directly asked in your exam for 3 marks, and I think it is very easy. Now there are certain different types of servers. First you can see is file server. File server is designed for managing the files, as you can see in the image. Then comes the printer server. Print server is basically designed to deal with the printing request. As I've given you example in earlier times, that suppose in an office there are 10 systems, but you can't use 10 printers for that. That one printer can be used by all the 10 systems. So that is what is print server. Then we have application server. Application server means some related applications, some for certain tasks according to the company need. Okay. Now internet service architecture. Technically speaking, an internet service is a pair of client server software. So internet is basically works on client and server. If you are sending even an email, as you can see in the diagram, there is an email client and there is an email server. Server software is installed on a server computer while client software is installed on a client's computer. So there are certain softwares for server and client which are installed on their respective machine. With respect to internet services, a computer is either the provider of the service or a consumer of the service. Provider of the service means it is providing some information, that is, it is working on the back end side or the server side, and it can be on the front side or the client side. In both the cases, client and server software may be installed on the same computer. Sometimes it is also the case that single machine can work both as client and server. So in order to provide to an internet service to the user, one has to create a server software, a client software, or one or more protocols. Protocols we have learned, it is a set of rules defined so that one can communicate on a network. And what type of communication we require on a network? To tell you, to give some commands or to exchange data, etc. The server software is hosted on internet host's computer and assigned an IP address along with the port number. Henceforth, users from all over the world can avail this service through the internet by running the respective client server on their computer. So here are some examples of how a system can work. For example, there's an email service. For example, I want to write an email to XYZ person. So how that works? So you need to understand, first there will be an email server. For example, one hosted on the server, say gmail.com. So I am using a gmail.com server. Now I will be using an email client. Now email client I can be using as Microsoft Outlook Express. These are some email clients which I can be using. And then for email we have studied the certain protocols that are SMTP, IMAP and POP will be used. Now for example, if I am working on a chat surface, for example, my chat server is yahoo.com, then my chat clients provided to chat with the Yahoo server is MIRC, Miranda, Pitgin, Quasil, Copity, Irisi, etc. and chat protocols are IRC. So these are certain examples to make you understand things. Next come internet services. So popularity of internet among global users can be attributed to the gamut of service. Gamut means a collection of services it offers to them. The internet something for everyone. In the following section, a few core internet. So we are going to study how internet provides certain services. So first is information retrieval. So as the name suggests, information we all know retrieval means to take. So large number of computer networks storing trillions of bytes of data and information. There are a lot of information which is stored on internet. You Google on internet, you get images, text, videos, audios and everything. So you know that a large amount of bytes of data is stored on the internet. So obviously we need is stored on the internet and you can access that data. So the availability of information on virtually any topic makes the internet extremely empowering tool. However, the very overabundance of information leads to undesirable condition like information explosion or information overload. There is a lot of information provided on the internet which you can use for your own purposes, but sometimes it leads to explosion, means huge sudden increase in the volume of information for a particular topic or overload of the topic. So these are certain challenges which are there if there is a lot of information, but a lot of information is there on the internet which you can retrieve. Retrieve means take from the internet. So the science of information retrieval, it deals with the representation, storage and organization of information as well as with the access to the stored information. It includes searching for documents, information within documents, for metadata about documents, besides searching relational database and the www. So information retrieval is a science. It is a method through which you can store or organize the information or access or store the information from various documents available on the internet. RI is an interdisciplinary field of driving. So it is a disciplinary field, that means it is studied in detail how you can get the specified data. Like nowadays, what if I want to search about say COVID-19, the situation of COVID-19 in Delhi. So I just type it on the Google and the information comes, but what goes behind it, it takes a lot of algorithms and lot of scientific, or you can say logical reasoning behind that, so that the data is available to you. So that is all studied in artificial intelligence, statistics, logistics, and all these studies are there for providing you data such easily. Next, a search engine. Search engine is a very easy example. A search engine is a network software that helps a user find a desired piece of information. So obviously using a search engine, Google, Yahoo, all these are search engines through which you can get such data, whatever data you want. So Archive, short for Achieve, was the first internet search engine developed by McGill University, USA. So it maintained indexes of 5. The act of exploration of the internet searching for a desired piece of information is termed as net surfing. That means net surfing means when you want to search anything for a certain piece of information, that is called as net surfing. Now what is the architecture of search engine? So how search engine works? Information may reside on the internet in the form of various logical units such as text, image, graphics, sound, audio, video, and many possible combinations of all of these. So for example, if I want to compare the word TIGR tiger and TIGR or lion, then comparing a picture of tiger with that of a lion in order to find a match. So it is easier to compare, but search engines employ textual indexing for search operations. So now how search engine works? So they are textually, for example, if what I am writing, if I write tiger, they show me the image of tiger. If I write lion, they show me the image of lion. So how they are working? They work on keyword search. Keyword search is a string of characters for which search is conducted in index files on the net. For example, if I type lion on Google search engine, so it will show me the images or the data which has the same keyword lion in it, which is stored in the internet. Next is full text search. Now in this you provide a complete paragraph or a line or a full sentence, and that sentence is being matched. It's like a matching process, right? So it is matched whether the documents which are stored on the internet had same text, and it gives you the result. Now next we have a search engine has primary three components, that is web crawler, indexer, and query processor search engine. First is web crawler. Now it is a network program that keeps on wandering from one website to another, following the hyperlinks on the web pages found thereon. They're also known by many other fancy names like spiders, robots, and bots, agents, etc. So web crawlers or web crawlers basically wander means roam from one website to another, as you can see in the image. Then comes the indexing software. Now this software passes the visited website encountered during web crawling. Now web crawlers, now you can see they scroll from one website to another, from one to another, and what information they have seen over there, they submit that information to a particular computer. It then classifies the content in the appropriate group according to keywords embedded into the web page or sources. So what happens if I have typed tiger, so what these web scrollers do, they go to different websites which are available on the internet related different websites, and they bring that website's content which has the word tiger in it, and it stores the index, means it provides the index to the computer. That means एक तरीके से information provide करवाता है, listing करवा देता है कि मैं गया इंटरनेट में, मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें देखी एंड यहाँ पे मुझे ये चीज मिली, और वो उसको डॉक्यूमेंट करवा देता है इंडेक्सिंग सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर. Next comes the database. Now what does indexing software does? It stores the actual repository of indexed information, that is whatever keywords these crawlers have search, the web crawlers have searched on the internet, have noted them to the index software. They again get stored into the database by the index software. Now there are certain search algorithms which are being used for searching the data. So this is how search engine works. Now some popular search engines are Alta Vista, Bing, Google, Dogpile, Guruji, Excite, Hotbot, Lycos, etc. Now locating sites using search engine, it is very easy to locate any site using search engine. What you need to do, you just start a web browser program on your computer. The details of World Wide Web will be covered in the next chapter. For now, look for any of the following programs installed in a computer. So how you can search on Google, on any of the search engine? So first you need to open any browser which is there on your computer. Then there is an address bar. Every web browser has an address bar in which you can type a website address you want to visit, and there is a web browser icon in every browser which you open. Next you can type the URL of the address on the address bar, okay, and then you can just press on the go button. Here we have taken the example of Internet Explorer. The home page of the search new web page. So what website we have given? google.com. So it will open the google.com for us, and there we are having a search text box or search button. So search text box, you can just write what you want to search and then click on the search button. So as soon as you click on the search button, you will see many hyperlinks over there which you can click on and can search upon what data you need and whether you have find the correct data or not. So a set of measures which attempt to push a website up in the found list when a keyword is searched through a search engine is called search engine optimization. So sometimes what happens, whenever you must have seen that if you are searching for anything, the first website or the first hyperlink which comes on the Google is 99% of the time or 90% of the time is Wikipedia, right? If you are searching on something. So why this happens? This happens because they have given a priority list to them. They have used an algorithm for that, so that it push up a website up in the found list. So that attempt can be done by using search engine optimization. So this is an important term that can be asked in your exam. So you may notice that there are other categories of search that Google offers for free to the internet user. So some other features are also there. For example, Google, which provide you images. You can search for various images, videos, news, and various tabs which are provided in the search engine. It just makes the search engine more efficient to use. Also, Google provides various languages in which you can search. Then comes finding people on the net. Now you can find many people on the internet. Internet users are over 2 billion. Okay, some information about these users are collected in the course of registration to social websites or other sorts. There are numerous websites or social media websites which are there on internet. So we give our data to these websites, and this way our data gets stored on the internet. So there are certain websites which you can use for finding people online, for example, Bigfoot, Yahoo, Google, Lycos. So these websites help you locate people which you want. Some social media website is also used, such as Facebook. Orkut is now not being, it has been discontinued by Google, LinkedIn, MySpace. So these are certain websites which can be used to find people. So there are certain other internet services. So the internet provides various other services, like new services are constantly being added to the internet. You can do whatever you want on internet nowadays. You can do shopping, you can order food, you can read about anything, you can download any book, you can share video, photos, YouTube, anything. So there are certain internet services which are given over there. Just go through them. It is very easy, like bloggers, a blog publishing service that allow private or multi-user blogs with time span entries, and eBay is there for auction and shopping website, Facebook a social networking website, Flickr a photo video sharing website, GoDaddy it is used for getting the internet domain and starting a web hosting company, and there are so many internet services. That means internet facilities which are provided over the internet, Skype for voice calls and whatnot. There are a lot of web services which are there. So this was all about your chapter. So with this, chapter 2 service available on internet is completed. Do read the chapter thoroughly and do the back size from your book ABC of Computer Application from page number 60 to 62. If you have any doubt in the whole tutorial, in the chapter, in the questions, feel free to ask me. You can comment down your doubts, or you can directly ask me your doubts in the doubt session of the coming week. Thank you.